project budgeting and cost estimation with case study. So first we will see what is the definition of cost and budget management. Project budget management involves planning, budgeting and managing the costs. The cost management does not happen in isolation. The project manager needs input from the project team and key stakeholders. As a project manager, I can't sit in isolation and create a project plan and estimation and do the budgeting and monitor everything actually. So we need to work as a team and we need to get input from higher management within the organization and from the customer buy-in also. The cost management should occur early in the project. So during the start of the project, we will create the cost planning actually. What is the cost required for the project, and we need to get the budget allocated to the project. So the cost management should occur early in the project planning in order to establish a framework for all cost management processes and ensure that the project does not go over the budget. So we need to do the cost control during the project running actually. So before starting the session, first we need to understand what is the difference between the cost and the budget. So when we need to use the term called cost, when we need to use the term called budget. So there are two processes within the cost knowledge area and planning process group. So as per the PMP certification, they have mentioned it's a cost management actually. So within the cost, we are getting two terms, cost and budget. So we need to estimate the cost and determine the budget. So I am planning to purchase a house, or I am planning to buy a car. So what is the cost of the house? Let's take that as an example, correct? So it's taking 1 crore as the cost of the building the home actually, and we need budget also 1 crore, but during the start of the project we no need 1 crore. So when during the each phase we need to get the budget to complete the building stages actually. Okay, that is the major difference between the cost and budget. Both are required in order to develop the project cost performance baseline. So we need to have both the cost and budget for the building the baseline for the project actually. Let's see what is the cost estimate. The cost estimates are simply the cost associated with the work package or activities within the project schedule. We have work breakdown structure, correct? So each work to be completed, what is the cost required? Okay, so that is the simple for cost estimation. Depending on the work package or activity, the cost estimate may be determined using parametric, 3-point and analogous estimation technique. So there are different techniques are there to identify the cost estimation for each activity or the work package. Okay, so we will not go in depth about how we will calculate the cost for each task or each module. Okay, that we will cover in separate session. So it's important for all cost estimates to include any assumptions that were made. Where did the estimate originate? Who provided the information and level of confidence, etc. So it's not only the work we are able to complete, correct? So but we need to include all the assumption, risk. So who is working that particular task and so is there any dependency within other team members, so what the cost of quality, so all these parameters involved during the cost estimation. Let's see what is the budget. The budget is built using the cost estimates and the project schedule. So the budget is built on the cost estimation and project schedule. So without calculating the cost for the project, we can't create the budget for the project actually. So the budget provides a view of how much the project is estimated to cost, both from a total and predictive perspective. So it's required to identify or get a clarity how much cost is required in each phase of the project to complete the entire project actually. This budget feeds the cost performance baseline, which is then used as critical integrant in performing earned value analysis and other cost management various analysis technique. So this is very important, the budget, because based on this only we can do the all the analysis. So are we going ahead of the project, are we going behind of the project, is the schedule is behind, or the cost is behind. So all these formulas, to derive these formulas, we need to have both cost and project and the variance actually. The project budget must be in alignment with the organization funding limits in order to ensure the funding is available and has been appropriated. Okay, so what this statement states is like, to complete one project I need 1 crore, correct? But the organization is don't have fund for this particular project, so we can't continue this project actually. Okay, for example, like if we take the total project cost is 1 crore, so we are behind the schedule and we need additional 10 lakhs to complete this project, correct? But the organization or the sponsor don't have the funding for additional funding to take the risk and complete this project, correct? So that's where the project budget comes in actually. So example, so the bathroom, we are remodeling the bathroom, that is the project we are considering. Okay, let's see what is the cost estimates required for this particular project. So demolition, week 1, $3,000. Sheetrock, $2,000, week 2. Tile floor, $3,500, week 3. Fixture installation, $1,500, week 4. And in parallel we are doing the painting to complete this project, that takes $800. This is week 4. So the total, this is the cost estimation for individual activities. Okay, when we talk about the budget, so the total budget of the project is $10,800 actually. Okay, so during the project start, the organization no need to have the entire money. Okay, so week 1 they should provide $3,000. Once we complete the demolition, and they will evaluate the what task is completed as per the plan, and they will release $3,000 fund. Okay, and sheetrock, week 2, 2,000. And when we are doing the tile floor, it takes $3,500, but we are not able to complete the work in 3rd week, so it's taking additional 2 working days. Then how they will release the fund? They will not release the fund actually. Instead of completing this task in 4 weeks, and 4 weeks, we will take additional 2 days actually. How we are going to pay the money for the employees, correct? So that's where the project planning, budgeting, and cost estimation, finding the variance, that's and all comes in actually. Okay, so like each week the organization has to release the amount mentioned in our slide, correct, to the team actually as a salary, we can say. So in the summary, so both cost estimates and budget are needed in order to determine the cost performance baseline and the project funding requirements. So cost estimates are the estimated cost for each work package or activity. So the summary is cost estimate equal to cost of work package or a activity, whereas the budget equal to the cost required for the project to be completed and what are the fund need to be released by the organization in periodic way. So let's go into the depth of this cost management. So what are the input, process, output in the project budgeting actually? So as a input, we need work breakdown structure and resource requirements, cost estimates for the work breakdown structure, and we need schedule. So what is the time duration required for this project to complete? Historical information. So when we talk about historical information, we will take the similar kind of project. Based on that, we will come up with the cost and budget actually, and market conditions and policies, organization policies. So what are the process? Plan. First we need to plan. In that plan we need to define and estimate the resource requirements and develop the project budget actually, cost and budget. What we need to do? Obtain approval and publish budget and authorize the expenses. So we need to get the approval from the organization for the budget in a periodic way to release to the project and publish the budget to the organization and authorize the expenses. So there will be a additional expenses required. So traveling from offshore to on-site, when team is working in shift timings, we need to provide additional payment, correct? So all these kind of expenses, software, recruiting the buying the software, so all other expenses we need to consider and check budget control and performance analysis. So as a manager, this is very important. We need to periodically check we are going ahead of the schedule or behind of the schedule. Are we running the budget over or under the budget actually? Okay, and adapt. So we need to keep on updating the budget and set corrective actions to keep track the project on as per the estimation. So what is the output from this project budgeting system? So we will baseline the project budget and we will create a project variance report on weekly basis or bi-weekly basis based on the report we are providing to the organization, and update the budget in the budgeting system. So these are the input, process and output for the budgeting system. Now let's see what are the estimation techniques we are commonly using. So we are using definitive estimate. So we are using this technique based on the work breakdown structure. So each activity, what is the time required and the cost required actually. And the second one is analogous. So use the actual cost of previous similar project for the basis of estimation. So like when we are doing a similar project in the organization for the same customer, so we can use this technique actually. The third one is top down, uses actual budget from activities in similar past project. So we need to take the similar project which we ran in the same organization, that breakdown or breakdown structure we need to take, and from that we need to get the cost actually. The next one is bottom up approach. So here we need to granularly in identifying the each task and creating the estimation for each task actually. From that we will find the entire project estimation. The last one is 3-point estimation. It is like optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic estimation. So optimistic plus most likely plus pessimistic divided by 3 is the estimation for the particular task. This is also called as PERT estimation. So what are the other factors we need to consider actually? So we need to consider vendor bid analysis. So when we are bidding the project, so how we can negotiate based on competitors, and then what are the vendors involved in this project, and reserve analysis. So when we know the risk involved in the project, so we need to reserve some cost actually. For example, like when we say like the project takes $1,000, so we can additionally allocate $200 like 2% of the project as a reserve actually, and buffer. So like when there is a risk comes in, like we can manage the situation. And cost of quality. So when we deliver any workable item, so there is a cost involved to create a quality project. So what is the cost of quality? And expert judgment. So when we are estimating the project, so we need to get opinion from experts. And risk, what are the risks involved in this project, so how is going to affect the cost and budget. And buffer, so providing the buffer for the project actually. And the next one is travel and other expenses. So let's go to the case study. So consider the example of developing the software for 10 weeks as a project. The resource requirements, rules, and rate per hour are provided in next slide. So the resources are planned for 40 working hours per week. That is like 8 hours per day they are working. So the rate card is very important. So the rate card will be provided or mutually agreed within the vendor and the organization. So like this is the sample resource planning I have created. So we have different roles: technical architect to build manager and technical writer, developers, QA engineers. And so we need 5 developers, and we need 2 QA engineers to test and move this to UAT. And so for release activities, we need build engineers. So this is the offshore rate and on-site rate, 35 to $70. So like for offshore rate, for a technical architect is $30 per hour, and on-site rate is $70 per hour. So this is the effort split up. Like I have taken this sample one for the how much effort we are spending in each phase of the project actually. So 10% of effort is required uh, to complete the requirement. For example, like 100 days is the project, so we will take 10 days for gathering the requirements, 15 days for designing the solution for the project. So 50% effort we will take it for the development. So like that, like we will come up with 100% total effort split up for the project mentioned above. And this is the like weekly wise I have splitted the task. So first week requirement, second week design, and next 5 weeks we are working on the development, and last 2 weeks we are doing the testing and doing the UAT, and last week we are doing the rollout and going on live actually. So this is the Excel sheet created for the total project. So like each phases I have put it in the column requirement design for each week actually. Okay, so week 1 to week 10 we have the phase wise resource requirement. For example, like we need a project manager for entire project duration, but business analyst is not required for testing and UAT and rollout phase. So you can see that business analyst is marked as 0 0 in last 2 weeks actually, and UA designer also not required in last 3 weeks, and technical architect on site is required during only for the requirement gathering and design phase. After that we will bring the technical architect for the entire project. So in some project like technical architects also not required for the testing and rollout phases actually, because we will have the lead on-site lead for the entire duration, so he can offboard his work to the on-site lead. So the next one is the developers. So developers will be starting from the second week. So if you want to do some POC during the design phase, you can put 1 or 2 developers in first 2 weeks actually. So first week also you can put 1 developer. In second week we can put 2 developers for doing a proof of concept. And so the QA engineers. So QA engineers, they will take the design and requirement document, and when we are working on the development, they will prepare the unit test cases and unit scripts actually. And here, like we no need to put all the QA engineers, so we can add only 1 or 2 QA resources, and during the testing and UAT phases, we can increase the QA engineers. And build release also we have planned the resources, and writing a technical documentation like user manual, so release document, so all the things we are adding on technical writer actually. So finally we will come up with total hours for each resource for the entire project duration, and we have put the section here, the rate per hour, and total hours into rate is the cost. So finally we are calculating the overall cost for the project actually. Here I have not added the additional cost which is on-site travel, and like if the team is working on shift timings, then there will be a additional cost involved, correct? So for software and hardware related cost and all, I have not estimated here. So please note that in the week of 6th, we should have completed 65% of the task actually. So when we take the actual planning as per the 6th week, actually we have completed 60% in the end of 6th week actually. So we are in the 6th week of the project, end of the 6th week of the project. So instead of 65, we have completed 60%. There is a 5% delay. So there are a lot of formulas in project budgeting actually, and cost estimation. So I will go through one by one quickly, but we will see only the formulas which required for the finding the variance actually. Project at completion. So this is the like total cost of the or budget of the project. Planned value. So planned value is the authorized budget you assigned as per the work breakdown structure, which I have shown in the previous slide. So actual cost, what is the actual cost we have spent for completing the task. End value is the level of work completed on the project against the plan. So what is the level of work we have completed against the plan. And the schedule performance index, this will schedule variance, this will help us to identify we are going ahead of the project or we are going behind of the project schedule actually. And the next one is cost variance and cost performance index. So these two are helping us to identify So what we are going behind the cost budget or ahead of the budget actually. Okay, because this is also like called as budget variance. And estimate at completion. So what for example, like we have planned for uh, 10k US dollars, okay, but we need 11k at the estimate at completion. So this is the difference actually. And the estimate to complete, so from the particular point of the project, so what is the estimation to complete the project actually. For example, like 10k versus 11k, so in the end of the sixth week we need like 6 means like 60 percentage, 60k, 40k. Instead of 40k we need 60k, 50k to complete the project actually. And what is the variance at completion? So we have 1k variance at the end of the project completion actually. So these are the formulas required to track and monitor the budget actually. So the next one, schedule and cost matrix. So this is the slide I have prepared based on the previous two slides actually. The plan versus actual. So based on this, I have arrived the this sheet. Like project at completion, we need to have this much dollars actually, and total project duration is 10 weeks, and the total man hours planned is 4040 400 hours actually, 4440 hours. So planned percentage of completion after 6 weeks, 65 percentage. So we should have completed 65 percentage of the work, but actually we have completed 60 percentage. So there is a 5 percentage difference. So what is the planned value? Planned value is BAC into planned percentage of complete. So that is this value, and so BAC into 65 percentage. So end value equal to the BAC into 60 percentage. Now we will identify SPI, schedule performance index. Schedule performance index equal to end value divided by planned value. So we are getting 0.92 percentage actually, and the schedule variance equal to end value minus planned value. So the summary is the project is behind schedule because schedule variance is negative actually, and project is behind schedule because SPI is less than 1. So if SPI is less than 1, we are behind the schedule. If SPI is more than 1, we will be ahead of the schedule actually. So this is the Excel sheet I have created. So now we will try to make some changes, and we will see like planned percentage of completion after 6 weeks 65 percentage, and the actual percentage of completion after 6 weeks is 60 percentage. Assume we are as per the plan. Okay, so then we can see the difference actually. So the SPI is 1%, that is we are as per the going as per the plan, and there is no schedule variance. So we no need to have any additional cost need to be spent to complete the pending work actually. Assume instead of 65 percentage, we have completed 70 percentage. Okay, then the SPI is more than 1%. Then we are going ahead of the schedule. So instead of completing the task in the entire project in 10 weeks, we will complete it before that actually, and we will at the end of the 6th week we have saved $6,875. Okay, so this is the kind of Excel sheet you can create manually, and you can derive So we are going as per the plan, or in terms of schedule and instead of budget, and you can put it in the weekly status report and present to the senior management and to the uh, sponsor actually. Plus we need to come up with corrective action and when we are going in negative actually. So that is very important. So when we are going in negative, so we need to come up with corrective action to complete the task in next 4 weeks. For example, like in this case we have completed 6 weeks of work. So how we will manage to complete the work within the next coming 4 weeks, and we will not over budget actually. Okay, this is very important. So thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe and like and share with your friends, and if you have any comments, please share with me.